If you believe these headlines, you can buy a better sex life and thinner thighs. First, there's the so-called Dream Cream that promises to cure even the worst thunder thighs without diet or exercise. Then there's the Love Potion, designed to put the sizzle back into your love life. Dr. Winifred Cutler claims her secret formula works for most women. Annette and Leslie say it certainly worked for them. They're here to tell us how the Love Potion changed their lives. Please welcome Dr. Winifred Cutler, Annette, and Leslie. Oh, look at the twinkle. What is this? I have to tell you all, I'm a skeptic by nature, all right? So when I hear about this Love Potion, Leslie, I go, come on, it's $95 for a sixth of an ounce. How can it work? Tell me, how can it work?
It's wonderful. It worked. It turned my life upside down.
I have a husband who is kind of conservative and very stiff. Anyway, I put the perfume on, and I wanted to study it because I like aromatherapies and how it works, and I've been doing it with my clinics. But anyway, I had tried it on, and I said, well, something's got to change. And within the first week, everything changed. My husband became romantic. We went away for a weekend. I mean, it was like nothing ever before. 18 years of quiet conservative, and we're like, chandelier, here we come. You know, it's like my kids think I'm crazy. They're catching us in doorknobs and you know, in corners, and we're walking away. We go places, we're necking on the street in little public alleys, and it's like, it's wonderful.
And all because of this Love Potion.
You got it.
All right, now...
No more inhibitions, no more feeling intimidated. I mean, it's like, anything goes, sweetheart.
Okay.
And it goes.
Now, the power of suggestion is a very powerful thing, right?
It has nothing to do with power of suggestion, because even if we wanted to do it, it was like, if it's not there, it's not there. But if you feel great and you look good and you want to feel good, everything else comes along with it. And that's what happened, because when I started feeling great and I started feeling good and I liked the way I looked, I didn't have a bad day. I didn't have a depressed day. I didn't feel like, oh, it's one of these bad, ugly days. Well, I feel kind of fat. No, forget it. It didn't make any difference. I felt wonderful. And when I felt great, he felt great, and anything goes.
Now it's the doorknobs. We're back to those. All right. Dr. Cutler, I don't know how you're smiling over here. You're the one you're responsible. You developed this, it's called Athena Pheromone 1013.
Yes, it is.
And this is your formula.
Yes, it is.
And it sounds too good to be true, which is...
Well, I'm smiling because what I'm hearing here is much more fantastic than I ever anticipated. The first study that I did in 1986, before what we have now, looked at a blank, we call it a placebo, and half the women got that on their upper lip, and it was just looked like alcohol, smelled like alcohol. Half the women got real pheromone. 3 times a week, they came into a lab, a technician put one or the other on them. Within 3 weeks, there wasn't a whole lot of difference. 11% of the placebo recipients had regular weekly sex. Regular weekly sex is very good for women. If a woman never mixes...
Is there any argument here from the women? Nobody so far.
But sporadic sex is very bad for women. Feast and famine behavior, just like feast and famine in dieting, will mess up a woman's endocrine system. It will make her age.
Wait a minute. This is new information here. Let me stop you here. You have done a lot of research. You are a research scientist. Yes. You're a biologist. Linking regular sex to the woman's health and well-being.
To her endocrine system, her fertility, the way she ages. So starting with that, we knew that a regular presence of a man was very good for a woman, and she couldn't do it for herself. That was our
shock
research.
to anybody in the audience here? I'm not sure.
That's a euphemistic, polite way to say it. Left to her own devices, she didn't get that same effect as the presence of a man in her life.
So what is it that a man brings to the party?
That was our question, and we started looking for pheromones. We looked at pheromones in women and in men, collected underarm essences.
Okay, I think you might be losing folks here. Let me just ask you what pheromones are.
They are biologic substances. Think of a female dog who is in heat. She gives off something into the atmosphere that her owner doesn't detect at all, but the male dogs of the same species from miles around will come running after her. They'll hurtle their bodies against the door of my house when my dog's in heat. And I look at her and I don't see anything different about her. She's emitting pheromones into the atmosphere.
So this is what you were trying to isolate?
Yes. So we went looking for human pheromones. We found them. We froze them, collected stuff, froze it, took it out a year later, thawed it out. Some women got the real stuff. Some women got a blank. The real stuff worked. The blank did not. So given all of that, and that was 7 years ago, I began developing to see whether, could I get a patent? Could we develop a business? Could we develop a product that women could add to their perfume that is that unappetizing alcohol-looking stuff, but it's really pheromones, pour it into the perfume, and then they apply the perfume 3 times a week on their upper lip. And I have 20 women in a study right now. These are 2 of those women who were sending me a fax once a week to my office saying what this week's results were. And I was smiling because I never anticipated.
You got reports like this on a weekly basis?
Yes, yes. Wow. A drug is defined by the Food and Drug Administration, not by me, as something you take internally to fight a disease. A cosmetic is something you put on, apply externally to the skin, you sprinkle it, you pat it, for the purpose of promoting attractiveness. And if you look at every woman in this room, they are wearing, just about every single woman is wearing things as cosmetics to promote their sexual attractiveness.
I would disagree with that
Turn around.
because we